Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. Trading is risky. Do your own research. I am not a professional. Okay, so today I asked for several altcoins on Twitter, and here is my list on the right. These are the coins that I'm going to be reviewing. We're seeing some crazy action on Bitcoin lately, and I'm going to be doing Bitcoin because Bitcoin first and foremost drives the market, and we can instantly mark the swing high. And this is a Bitstamp chart. Stamp was the leader before, but it got overtaken by BitMEX in terms of overall volume. But anyways, we saw swing high here, and this broke all-time high levels. And Bitcoin broke all-time high levels on a few different exchanges, but not all of them. What's there to really say? This is incredibly bullish. This is not a bearish chart in the least. I would expect Bitcoin to have a cooling period, but I don't know when or where that's going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin could absolutely just keep going up to $25,000 and then pull back. And at that point, it'll be good to start using some fib levels at that point. But I just don't know where this is going to basically pause. And it's quite possible as well that Bitcoin just pauses here and starts heading lower and cools off. And at that point, that would be fantastic for altcoin traders. I know that many people, including myself, are waiting for that time. But as of right now, I really can't say with any strong conviction of where price wants to go. I mean, we're seeing this kind of double top type of pattern right now. And as I said before, it's quite possible that this is where Bitcoin is going to stall out. Maybe 20K is where Bitcoin is going to just pause, and we can see some different areas of support in between 15 to 20K. And the ideal altcoin trader's dream is that Bitcoin just ranges within this level. But of course, what we want and what is actually probable to happen aren't necessarily going to be the same. So my plan right now is basically just to go ahead and keep eyes on Bitcoin. It's interesting to note that the dips are getting bought back very, very strongly. We saw strong buying right here. And even with that big move down the other day, price pretty much quickly rebounded. So in my opinion, we're going to see a lot of volatility in the next 24 to 48 hours. We should know a little bit more going forward. I'm sorry that this doesn't really give you much information because I frankly have no idea where Bitcoin is going to go. The trend is absolutely still bullish to me, and it still is bullish because even if this was a swing pattern failure, it's still a higher high. And to me, if these lows at 16K get lost, then we're going to be hitting a short-term bearish market structure on low time frames. However, I'm still very high time frame bullish on Bitcoin. I think that 2021 is going to be very strong for Bitcoin, and I think that this will hit all-time high convincingly. So as of right now, my plan right now is just to basically stay on the sidelines for the most part and just observe Bitcoin. So ETH USD, here is a Coinbase chart that's already been charted before. I basically believe that Ethereum USD is going to be very strong. As you can see in previous years, this has gone I think this is not perfect. These aren't perfect levels here for the lows. It's closer to like 100%, but regardless, the last several years for ETH USD has gone 100% starting in December. So I think that Ethereum USD is going to be very strong in the next coming months. I have an ETH USD stack that I personally have that I don't really touch. It's just a buy and hold stack. I believe that starting in December is when the run is going to really happen. Not necessarily that the run will be finished in December. As you can see last year, the run started in December and it didn't end until late February, early March. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see ETH USD hit $800. It's really not that far away. I mean, it's 30%-ish from where price is currently at. It wouldn't even be too unheard of if it's going to follow previous years, if it's going all the way up to $1,200. Now, of course, I'm not going to make that prediction right now, but if it's like anything else that we've seen on previous years, ETH USD still has a lot of upside. And for those that did miss the train on BTC, you can consider buying ETH USD. The upside's probably a little better, in my opinion, but we'll see. And ETH BTC is also kind of falling, but I project that ETH BTC will actually be pretty good in general too in the next coming weeks and months. Okay, starting now with the crypto market review. This is Chainlink USDT. I personally believe that this is going to be a support region around $12 and resistance is going to be 15. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see a little bit of ranging here while Bitcoin is still kind of doing its thing where there is weird volatility and we aren't really sure what Bitcoin is going to do. I think that Link USD is going to be very bullish though in the coming weeks. And the market structure itself is still pretty bullish. You have this nonstop higher lows, and this area right here was just a range deviation, in my opinion, or deviation from these lows in this trend line. Personally, I was viewing Chainlink similar. This price action right now was similar to this price action that we saw back in earlier this year in the fall and early summer, where price just kept grinding up. And this was after the COVID dump in March, but it's kind of a similar type of price action where this is like a vertical accumulation. So it wouldn't surprise me at all just to see price, continuing to grind up as well. But the bottom line is that I believe that Link is going to break $20 convincingly within the next few months. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I believe that alts in general are going to be pretty strong. XRP USD, everyone has the same chart for this. This is like a bull flag type of pattern, but price broke down, and what you can see right here is that it just retested this level here, and it looks slightly bearish in the short term. Personally, I am still very bullish on XRP in the next few weeks. This move right here already seems different than previous moves. For instance, back in September of 2018. There's just more market participants now, in my opinion. And the volume is very strong compared to that move. And that's the same from all these other moves in the past in, for instance, May 2019. There's just a lot more volume and momentum here. So personally, it wouldn't surprise me to see this move up higher again, another leg to $1 or so within the next few weeks or months. But in the short term, I'm not exactly sure what to think. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see this continue just to kind of range down. And there could be a further pullback, but this is still bullish for now, in my opinion. We have to watch to make sure that this wasn't the lower high formed. Of course, that's possible, but until these lows get violated on 46, I'm not so worried quite yet, but you know, it's possible that we might see this grind down, like double bottom. And then it's also possible that we also see something like this too, where you just see a big consolidation, something like that. This is also possible. But in general, I'm still very bullish on XRP in the next few weeks too. I think this one will have another leg, at least one more leg up. Ocean BTC, this was not a very bullish chart. I had some discussions with this chart with my friends before. It just kept making lower highs, and this trend line was just obvious resistance over the last few weeks. I believe that this area right now is a interesting demand zone, but this area has been tapped multiple times. You can see this holding support here, and you can also see it holding support here as well. But as I say in multiple other streams, I believe that when support is tapped over and over and over again, those areas of support or resistance get weaker and weaker and weaker. I always like to compare it to dropping a rubber ball on the ground, where you drop the rubber ball on the ground, first test, best test, as Cred says, and you get the best first reaction from the first test of it, and then you see slowly but surely weaker and weaker reactions from there. And that's that way. A classic example is just the $6,000 quote-unquote floor in Bitcoin in 2018, where you saw a really good first reaction and then weakening reactions thereafter. So let me just go really quick to that. Yeah, so this is the rubber ball example here that I always love to explain and show. First reaction back in February, great first reaction, goes from $6,000 all the way back up to $12,000. And then, you know, of course, you're going to have smaller areas of support and resistance as well that are also available. But the bottom line is that you can always see here, and then you can see basically prices having weaker reactions to this $6,000 area. And then once demand weakens, price just nukes on through and has a very violent drop. So there's a lot of reasons why those areas get weaker and weaker. The main is that those orders are getting filled, and there's just less and less orders for the demand area, and the buyers, there's less and less buyers. So when price keeps repeatedly tapping a singular area in a short amount of time, that's usually means that that area is going to be weaker. So anyways, for Ocean BTC, I always kind of thought the same thing. It's very possible that this next area is the next area up. And this would be an obvious demand area. This, I can't read it, 1500 sat, no, it's 150, I'm not sure. It's hard to read with the decimals, but anyways, I'm not really bullish on Ocean quite yet. It would make sense to me that price either consolidates here and then moves up and forms a consolidation range, or it goes lower and then has a nice response from there. Okay, so we'll go to AAVE, and I use the BTC chart because the USD chart does not have a very good price history. To me, this right now is still neutral. You can't call it bullish quite yet. You can call it bullish if you consider this a low and this is your lower low. This is your first low, and this is your higher low. And the bullish trigger to me would be price breaking this 45K sats region. If that happens, then I think you're in a bullish market structure and price is just going to keep going up. I personally am just scaling into AAVE, and I think that this one is going to be very bullish in the next coming months. USDT. These are very obvious areas. This ranged for several months with having zero of movement. Explosive move recently targeting these highs, and price fell back all the way to the range high, and now right now it bounced, but again hit this obvious resistance area. To me, again, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see another test of these the range high around 475 or something like that. Can't necessarily call this bullish quite yet, in my opinion. I would like to see exactly where the highs and lows are. But like other coins, I'm actually quite bullish on this one in the coming months, and I have a bag of this. RSR, this one looks pretty bullish to me. I marked this demand area from 17 cents. And yeah, this looks pretty good in general. It looks like this was like the low, and this is still a higher low. Even if you count the wicks, these are still higher lows. I would like to see price make a higher high eventually and break these highs. But for now, it still looks decent to me. There's many people in on this one, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this one continue. But it's going to depend a lot on market conditions, because as with anything right now, crypto related, everything is going to be tied to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin dumps, I expect there to actually be some short-term downside, and then things will start to rocket up. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to have a V-shaped reversal for a lot of these altcoins. Here is a hard USDT. This was a new coin listed. There is not much to say about it personally. It's just basically in this long consolidation range. It's neutral to me. This is not going to really move anytime soon, in my opinion. I expect the new coins to actually move hard because price discovery is so easy. Like 85 cents, other than these crazy wicks, are going to be the significant areas, but it's not very hard for this stuff to hit price discovery in a bullish market. So usually the new coins are the ones that I'm interested in. But for now, this is just ranging. It's not really doing anything. LTC USDT, or US dollar, I'm sorry. This was the obvious supply zone, and price grinded right through it and hit this this other next supply zone up in $90, and it could not break it. I marked this area right here, the $73 area, as support, as well as this former swing high in the $67 area. And if you really want to mark it a little more accurately, this would have probably been better. This was like a clear demand area. But regardless, LTC had some really strong buybacks today, even with the BTC volatility. And I don't know what to really think of this. It's this huge move down, and price just ripped right back up. And as of right now, I don't think you can really call this bearish by any means. There's a lot of volatility. The BTC pair, the LTC BTC pair, looks pretty bullish in the sense that I think the bottom is forming soon. So I'm pretty neutral on this in general. I think that LTC is actually going to be pretty strong in general. And it wouldn't surprise me for this to eventually gun for these highs up near 135. But again, it's going to really depend on Bitcoin as well. If Bitcoin goes way lower right now, well, not way, but 15,000 or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised to see this pull back all the way to the 65 area before going up. Regardless, I'm pretty bullish on majors in the next few months, though. Sushi, this had really big news today or last night, I think, from a partnership with RUNE. And the chart itself looks pretty good. These are some areas of obvious resistance. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see price test this area here, the 150 area again. And what you really want to see is the supply area, and this entire area is just going to be a big supply zone. What you want to see is basically you want to see price starting to grind through it, because that means that those orders are getting weaker and weaker. It's kind of like that same concept of the rubber ball that we talked about before. And where would you target? You would target somewhere along here. If you get to lower time frames, you are definitely going to find some key levels here around the 240, 260 area. But you'll have to go down to low time frames in order to find those key levels. But in my opinion, once this 180 area gets broken, it's 230 or 240 next. RUNE looks pretty good. Crazy strong volume the last several days. It still looks pretty bullish to me. Again, it's going to depend a lot on Bitcoin, and it is a little worrisome to see so much sell volume here. It's possible that this grinds up and hits here and then dumps a little longer, a little more. But the high sell volume is very, very worrisome in my opinion. If I were to buy this one, I would probably target something like 69 cents again. I think this one is going to be very strong though in the next few weeks and months, because this one is pretty hyped. Zilliqa, this is looking pretty good, but okay, so this is close. This is pretty much all-time high area. I thought that this was a range that price formed in general, and it consolidated here for several months. Finally broke out with huge volume, as you can see here, and then had a swift pullback. And as of right now, it still looks pretty good, but I would like to see these areas. These are the next areas up. I would expect to see this 027 area hold. However, if Bitcoin does something bad again, it's going to probably go to the EQ around 0.021 and then go higher. And then if that's the case, then all of this recent move was just a range deviation. So at that point, you would basically just assume this is just a deviation from this range. Kind of like this. This is just a deviation. Tron recently had a very strong summer. Had a strong winter pump, probably because it's associated with other majors at this point. And it had a very strong summer pump too in early fall because of the narratives of TRX just being a faster and cheaper chain than Ethereum, which is true because Ethereum had all the DeFi issues that it had, high gas costs and what have you. As it stands, you'll have to go down to lower time frames if you want to see these key levels. Here's an interesting area here. And it looks like I could have gone a little lower. You might even just consider just marking out the wicks, because these are going to be more significant generally. Anyways, TRX looks fine to me for right now, but it wouldn't surprise me at all just to see this continue ranging overall. Just continue ranging, and another test of 027 might be coming. But yeah, it looks okay for right now. I mean, it's neutral. But I think this is going to be following most other majors like EOS and NEO and those types of coins. Anyways, thank you very much for giving me those coins on Twitter, guys. I will be checking on there and checking your comments. So thanks so much for your support, and good luck trading.